Welcome back, everybody. In this installment of the little video series, I wanted to just talk a little bit more about what you can expect when we return on the 13th to worship here at 5051. And so, first of all, you would have every reason to expect, as has been true of these last months, that Eden Church is a church that is going to be in compliance with our city and state ordinances. And so at this time, that means that we can safely, mindfully gather, observing social distance and having masks on indoors, unless medically necessary to not have that. And that we can have up to 50 people or 25% of our capacity, whichever is the smaller number. So the number we're working with is 50 as our capacity for Sunday morning. And the deacons and I have begun doing the math and mapping out the spacing of the pews, marking off pews that won't be available, so that people can spread out in the sanctuary. And if necessary, we'll use the balcony above for overflow for that, just depending on whether people come in family units or not, might affect the comfortable spacing of up to 50 on the floor here. So we're working on that. So pews will be marked off that will not be available to be seated in. And we'll be asking people, of course, to think about spreading out horizontally in the pew. If you're not part of a family unit, preferring otherwise, just to be comfortable with that space. So taking everything you've been practicing probably out in the world and bringing those natural instincts into this space. You should know that when you arrive, we'll be mindful of making sure that there aren't clumps of people coming in together. The ushers will be just watching and making sure that folks are respectful of space. None of us would anticipate that being a problem exactly, but it's a thing we're watching, we'll be mindful of. And when you do come on in, we'll be asking everybody to use the hand sanitizer, which is available at the back of the church. I would expect the bathrooms to be available only for an emergency, but they certainly would be open for an emergency during our Sunday morning time. And then back to the ordinance and the masks, which I mentioned a few minutes ago. I would say that if you have a medical need for an exception to the mask mandate, we would encourage you to consider worshiping at home by Zoom with us. If you are very convicted about being here in person and have that issue with the mask, we will seat you in a special designated area, but we will require that you actually call the office or email the office in advance to make that RSVP. And so upon coming in to the sanctuary with your mask on, we will seat you in a designated area so that you can be comfortable in that way. So what else do we want folks to know? Distance, masks. We also, want to just acknowledge that this is a period of time when it's important for us to take responsibility to be as careful and sensitive as possible. So we're asking that everybody routinely take your temperature while you're at home in the morning before you come to church. Just please make that a part of the Sunday morning routine. We're expecting that of you if you're planning to join us in person. And if you have been experiencing, of course, any symptoms or know that you've been exposed to known cases of COVID or anything else that's contagious, please do choose to join us by Zoom on that morning instead of coming in person. I think that's enough for video number 2.